Vamos a agradecer la visita del profesor, que viene de la Universidad de Turín, que ha estado trabajando durante muchos años en temas logísticos complejos, Ignacio, en los cuales ha tenido que resolver situaciones diferentes, de aspectos comerciales, aspectos militares, aspectos en muchos otros territorios complicados. En los últimos años han creado un grupo de investigación que está trabajando en lo que es simulación y tiene la capacidad de simular efectos futuros, es decir, pensar en cómo un puerto de profundidad en La Paloma podría desempeñarse, cómo podría armarse. Podría dar un ejemplo tonto que no tiene ningún sentido, ¿eh? Cómo podría, digamos, generarse todo en base a simuladores digitales. Sí. También esos serían simuladores del futuro. Y después tiene también otra línea de investigación en simuladores de mejoras logísticas sustantivas en aspectos comerciales como delivery, camiones, etc. Y bueno, ellos lo ven con problemas más seguidos y más grandes todo el tiempo, entonces de alguna manera su experiencia es interesante. Así que bueno, adelante, te dejo y me siento allí.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for your invitation here. I'm very proud and very glad to be here, to stay here with you, to present not myself, but a case study. It's very interesting to be here for one reason, that is about my family roots, because si vede? Yes, but la gente si vede, mi mira nel video?
Sì.
Yes. My family root, because my grandmother and my great grandmother born here, and so I am a part, immediately a part in what, like you. This is the first reason that I am here. It's the first time that I come in Uruguay, but maybe not the last, I hope. Other reason is to present what we do in Italy, because during my experience in Italy, I work a lot, but also as a chemical engineer, because I am the first, my first master degree was in chemical engineering, studied in Turin, Polytechnic of Turin. But now I'm a student, like you guys, little similar age, but not the same. Just 1 or 2 years more. And I am a PhD student with a program, a very interesting program for the present, for the future, using AI and advanced simulation to support decision makers. So it's very interesting, because when I studied chemical engineering, there wasn't this kind of subject, and now you have a good opportunity for you and for you study, but also for your work, your job in the future, to implement the economical system, society, geopolitical system, and so on, and also government system. So I would like to present briefly, I have the time, but you can cut me if you want, and a case study that I made before, not for you, but before, because I had another master degree completed last year. Why? Because I am young, but also because it's important to improve yourself every time and over time. And for an engineer, all the life you study. But I would like, I stop some of my jobs, my commitment, and I restart to study other things. Because just to reach your level, I don't know, but to reach your level in the field of digital computation, IT, and so on. So I would like to present this, and then I will present other things about logistics, about other subjects that we study and we give to support to decision makers in Italy, but also abroad. So, starting for this case, do you think that strategic engineering is a new discipline in the world, and also using different subjects coming from different specific fields, not just engineering. There is engineering, but strategic is a very important word. I will have some ideas in the next presentation about strategy, but here I would like to present how we can use these tools to support the decision maker. So, brief presentation of myself. I was, again, a chemical engineer in Tengo, in spagnolo, tengo un studio professionale in Italia. So I am freelance for the companies in the fields of health and safety, occupational health and safety, and many other things. Also, yes, designer, risk manager, consultant, auditor, also forensic appraisal expert, very important to support maybe the clients, maybe the company, when unfortunately they make a mistake, for example. But also I had some experiences in humanitarian missions, so international cooperation for Afghanistan people. The sense and the gender, the sense of the wife or the women in the Afghanistan people is very important. También because we are Christian, so we are, you give us a best sense of our mission. And also in Kenya, when I was very young, just I was engineering and designing a part of pipeline in Kenya region, Mero region in Kenya. Then I was a politician, multidisciplinary life, my life. I've had many experiences in my region, in my city, very interesting. And then I decided to stop 5 years ago because after 30 years to serve, to be a civil servant for your country, good, but it's enough because you can do other things. For example, study. And then I am a reservist in my country army, Italian army, as engineer, because they call me just to make some consultant, some advisor, advising in the field of engineering. And in this case, I was for 1 year in Iraq, 2 years ago. And finally, personal renewal. I studied 3 master degree, 3 master, university master, very interesting in Italy, in Italy, one in Turin with the United Nations campus, in United Nations campus, about innovazione sociale, social innovation for sustainable developing countries, and also another in the protection against CBRN events. What is, I ask you, what is CBRN event? You know, chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear event. It's not just for war, but for accident, for example. So you can study how to prevent the event or how to manage the event when occurs. Okay, when it occurs. And also I studied about intelligence investigation and security for homeland security, about this field, these fields. But as I said before, I study also a second master degree in Genoa about engineering technology for strategy and security. Strictly is strategos, is a logo, but also is Ingeniería estratégica, strategic engineering. And now I started last year in November, the first year of the PhD program, very interesting program in this field, mathematical engineering, simulation, using AI and advanced simulation to support the simulation. This is the reason because I choose the idea. I use the idea to support an industrial investment in a not ordinary country. Iraq is not ordinary country; it's a post-conflict country. I was foreign here, so I studied the country. But with my professional experience, other experiences, I could study better something about the needs of the country. Because the vision for an engineer is very important. To have an open vision is better to have a very straight, very close vision. Normally, an engineer has close vision, but very hard. But in the case of strategic engineer, your vision is open. And using, strategy and complexity, because we study complex systems, not easy systems, of course. The engineer is skilled to solve the complex system, normally, but also to solve a simple system. But your goal is the deeper for the other stuff. So, what is the shortly strategic engineering for country development? Is an investigation process to propose scenarios for decision making on complex systems. But we have also a social goal, because I would like to put inside also the social goal, not just the business goal. Business goal is normal and then it's useful. If you invest, you want to gain. But how to invest is very important. What is your social goal is very important for the population, for the country, for your vision. Not as an engineer, but your entrepreneurial vision. So, potential of an industrial investment for meeting a population need or risk. Developing private sector, because in this case, Iraq normally has just public sector developed, not developed, it's public of the state. So the private sector needs to implement, needs to start, maybe. Saying this. Also, being sustainable. For an investment, you have to be sustainable. Not, I pay, I don't gain, I lost my money. It's a humanitarian mission, but normally an industrial project is not just humanitarian. It could be, but not just. And in addition, differentiating economic growth of the people, of the population, of the country. But this is good also for other countries, in Africa, in Latin America, in Europe, maybe. In not ordinary means after a war, but also after a break, economic break. Improving well-being of the people, and also having a real social impact. It's very important. Using, for example, the SDGs. Do you know what are SDGs? Sustainable. I know, a student. You are a student? Always, okay. Develop, SDGs, sustainable development goals from Agenda 2030 of the United Nations. Is a very interesting goal. I don't know if this goal will reach all in 6 years, but is a challenge in the world for many reasons, for many principles, not only for the poor people, but also for the developed people, as in Europe, as in USA, or for example, for environment problem. Here is reached one goal is solved. In our country, no, for example. But it's very interesting that this agenda. I suggest you study something online about this. And so you have to study about sociology, economy, geopolitics, engineering, of course, and to have vision, strategy, security sense, because also the security, not just safety, but safety, of course, but security for the country, for your investment, for example. And so what is strategic engineering? Is a discipline that specifically addresses decision making based on innovation methodology as modeling and simulation. Do you know what is simulation? Yes, so maybe it's your field, not the first, but maybe you use AI for something, I think. For some calls, you use code for that. Okay. And so AI data analytics is very important to analyze the data, but to analyze not just the data coming from web, but also to change the data, to use the data, to transform the data for your use. Very important, but it's very difficult. And for example, using also new technologies, IoT is one, or industrial IoT, another. So it's an innovative concept and a very powerful tool, the strategic engineering. It's not only a master degree. In my case, I studied this field, but it's an idea, it's a discipline, put inside many disciplines. And helping decision makers to analyze without real application. So we don't spend to build my project, but before I spend something to study if this project is good or not, will be good or not. Because if I build my project, my industry is not good, I lost my money. So before, this is a strategy. Like the idea strategy comes normally from the military field, the nuclear field, but also military field, and maybe 2,000-3,000 years ago. Sun Tzu, the art della guerra, as an example. The strategy is very important to reach your goal. And you can change the strategy, but in this case, the man is not just in the loop, but on the loop. You can see you can manage the project and the virtuality if you want, but also the code, changing parameters, changing variables, and many things. And taking advantage to allow correct information to support, of course, our decision. What are a system in engineering? We have many kinds of systems, but you can understand the system as a combination of interacting elements organized to achieve one or more declared purposes, which would not be obtained from the individual element alone. So we can have different kind of complexity in the systems, characterized by physical or functional domain, and also on the degree of the complexity and their predictability. In special cases, you can reread this definition. In this case, this solution, interconnected elements able to exhibit one or more behaviors. So we can have different kind of complexity in the system, but also different kind of system, sample system, complicated system, chaotic system. What is chaotic? In engineering language, STO, for example. And also complex, so physical and functional domain complex, where it's necessary to design system to behave correctly even on early phases. So you have to architect in the best way your project, your product. But also a non-linearity systems, for example, the solution of equazioni differenziali, differential equation is not enough, or emergent behaviors in your system. Things that happens casually. Bomb, explode. I don't know. Indeed. So this is a complex system you have to study. The approach. The approach is, I said it before, as I was saying before, multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary. Articulated as, for example, these bonds. Knowing that this is a key to success of our project, our study. Simulation in decision maker represent the behavior of the system over time to understand the effects before to implement, before to do your project, really, in really form. So we can evaluate the impact. We can identify unwanted scenarios in advance to present many scenarios to your boss, okay? And also exploit emergent opportunity. You can find a new business. You didn't think before, but they find a new business. Wow! I find a new strategy, a new idea, and also representing all virtually, not paying the investment. So now the impact means reduce uncertainty. Uncertainty is a key word in AI, but also in industrial engineering. Uncertainty is very important to understand, for example, the engine, the preparation, the noise. I don't know, many things to study in industrial engineering, in industrial field, not only in your study. My methodology of this case is was a brief study that now I would like to implement, of course, because study, to start with a study, normally you implement, you grow your goals, and maybe you add other goals. But the methodology is the same. Identify your goal, what you want to do. But identify macro variables, finding a relationship between the variables. Data collection and transformation is very important phase. Maybe data collection is important, but maybe you have not many data to find. Maybe you have to guess some data, and then you can verify if these data are good or not. But it's a very important phase. Also create causal loop diagram. In this case, we will see the diagrams. Create the model by code and also by run. running model. Define the course of actions, so many alternatives can change, and also to support decision makers, but in progress. You can also implement just your study. In addition, you have to identify the errors using, for example, mean square error analysis or analysis of variance. You can study the sensitivity of your project using design of experiments. And you have to compare your result, your outcomes with different points, for example, to measure sensitivity versus experimental error. You are not, your study is not perfect, of course, but can reach some idea, not of the perfection, but of about your goal. So what about my country that I study? We have studied many things. So this kind of multidisciplinarity is very important. I will show after what we study normally in the strategic engineer master degree course. Understanding something that we see now. About so you still have to study about the borders, production, infrastructure. There are different factors in this country or not. Is that enough or not? This is very important, but also about logistics, about supply chain. Because if you want, in our case, we suppose we guess to product basic pharma like aspirina, without patent, so you have not to pay the fee and to other big pharma. But to produce a thing, a pharma, you need the raw materials, you need a supply chain, and you need to give to pick up the raw materials through the transport by ship, by truck, by what I don't know. But so logistic problem, very important. Also demography. It's enough for the population to gain to be sustainable my investment or not. GDP per capita, yes, because not just GDP for the country. It's important because GDP for the country is different. In this case, comes from the oil revenues, petrol. It's not the same, but the GDP per capita for people maybe. They can work in the public sector, in the law sector, but maybe in a campus, in Campania, campus in your language. So, are two different point of view. You have to know, as in my case, it's more important GDP per capita for the investment. Also, the trend of indicators, main indicators, oil and non-oil revenues, public sector spending, but also unemployment rate. If you can, if you invest, you can have or not a good quality of workers, but also you can invest to prepare your worker and to offer an opportunity to this population. Very important, and also social project, social goal, and also labor for the industry. So you study the country, the borders, you study some economic point of view, and also you can understand the GDP, the fluctuation of GDP during the years. There was 2020, there was the COVID also in this country. And also you study this is GDP for the country. It's very different respect to the GDP per capita. You study the trend comparing with the other Scandinavian region countries. You have to study the spending in the public sector of this country. You have to study, very important, the non-oil revenue and the difference about oil exporters, the difference of Iraq respect on the other MENA region. So Iraq is, you can say, rentier country, un paese che vive di renta, giusto? Ma di renta del petrolio. For that, for you, is a good thing or not? Maybe. Il petrolio makes pollution. And then you cannot implement or develop other opportunities of investment in the private sector. So it's not a very good idea to be a rentier country, rentier French. So this is another comparison about other countries, Iraq and other countries in the region, and also this is the data. These are the data about employment and unemployment rate, and also this is interesting because you become to identify one region where of the country where you can invest because it's better than the other regions. Showing, analyzing, for example, the percentage of labor practicing force and also the education of the workers, the people. So education in the country is very important. So identifying my region in the country, we can analyze the investment using a qualitative form, qualitative framework. Normally, I think you study many possibilities, but normally use best or SWOT analysis. You know, best SWOT analysis? No. But we can see this is the Caribbean region. I visited also a Catholic university in this region. There is just one, funded and paid from our Italian Conferenza Episcopale Italiana. So, to the Pope by the bishops, archbishop. And this is a good idea to invest in education, but it's not enough in this region. So we have to analyze best analysis, political, technological, economical, social point of view, but also you can use SWOT analysis. You can identify the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, or the threats of this region. But it's not enough because we study in a quantitative form the problem, not just in qualitative form. So to study in a quantitative form, we can use different levels of abstraction using AI. You can start, as I started in this project, through the system dynamics model, using different differential equation or mathematical relationships, describing the dynamics of variables over time. You can use discrete event modeling, in which events occur at specific moments over time. And we can use agent-based modeling. Very important, because you can use intelligence agents. So you can add some very important condition on your environment. For example, a riot, problema sindacale, maybe a pandemic, or human behavior model, human behavior problem. And this is very good, interesting method. Used more the other, and normally you can use in hybrid form all these three methods to have a perfect form of your presentation, of your prediction, because you can change many variables over the time. So this is a configuration, diciamo, considering the abstraction levels, and we can start from the high level system. You can use discrete just to understand over time some changing, but you can use also for all the process agent-based modeling and simulation, of course. Some hybrid examples. In our university, we are studying about reactive and emergent behavior by intelligence agents, using these called REM-IA intelligence agents and human behavior model. But we can use not just for cognitive warfare, for in this case, there is written cognitive warfare. It's a joke, of course, it's a play, but play to train maybe the soldiers, to train also the high level of soldiers, officer, who decides. But also using this model, human behavior model, to understand the reaction of population during a crisis. Crisis could be flooding, war, pandemics, but also similar events, an explosion in the port, for example. The chemical materials in the port. Boom. What is the reaction? You can study before using human behavior model. These are examples, but it's very interesting. This means causal loop before you create your model, and you understand how can occur, how can behave in the population. Also, this the first is about the fear model, the other the stress reaction model, the other about the fear diffusion model, or multi-level human behavior model. So we have to study many things using AI. But going back to our case study, we start with a concept frame. These are very big the first concept frame, as you can write in a team, you understand how it happens, to be happen in your country. About politics problems, diplomacy problems, social problems, economic problems, for example. Bargaining for privacy, because Kurdistan wants to be independent from Iraq, but Iraq, of course, the state doesn't want, of course. But there is a bargaining problem for privacy, but also for trying to solve external conflicts, some terrorist attack, or the problem to solve about infrastructure or private, the bank to private sector. But also the money to give the money to private sector, but also to avoid the rentier economy. This is a very important problem about from the origin. So several interconnected. The causal loop is a form that you use starting for your model before to write your code, using over time your behavior and complex systems, and showing many interactions between the variables. For example, about the influence of the system. So it's a sort of a cycle loop, of course, a virtual cause-effect relationship. Ogni causa corrisponde uno o più effetti. So it's very important, because if I do this, what happens? If I do that, what happens? You have to organize it. You have to think about this to organize your causal loop. Causal, not causal. Causal loop process would be this. These are just some examples. For example, if you have supply of goods, you can improve industrial development, you can improve produce more goods, you can have more demand. Virtual causal loop. But also having fiscal system, if you gain, if you produce, you pay taxes. The taxes go to state that can use, or to region that can use for public services. È un circolo virtuoso, non virtuale, virtuoso. Circolo virtuoso, very interesting. Public service, local business, other stuff. If you improve no industry, you gain for the private sector, you gain for the income per capita, GDP per capita, and you gain for other things, education, labor, skills, new skills. You need new skills. And so on. These are examples to understand what is a causal loop. Very interesting, because you think about everything. È molto anche stimolante. Ad esempio, this is very, in my opinion, it's very important. You increase population well-being, but as better than death, and immigration, no? And so you can organize your project in a social form. This putting inside the previous single causal loop, you can organize a causal loop diagram in this way, in this form, in a heuristic frame, local impacts and relationship each other. showing the model. And we are going to the end. Showing the model. This is a system dynamic model. You can connect basic needs with the industry system and labor, but also with sustainability, moving people away from rentier economy. You have to understand the result, your cost. It's more good or not. And you can study this using, for example, starting from 6 million population, the population in the Kurdistan region, and show if you have enough revenues, GDP per capita, if you have enough, not this, that, but birth, and so on. If you can reduce the immigration, and if you can improve the immigration, for example. If your country is good, maybe the people come here. Maybe come there. So you can show, you can see some outcomes and compare these outcomes with the reality. If you have the data, for example, for the growth of the population, normally the country has a data in the web, in the governative web. And so you can compare. But also, so population and lifetime, life expectancy confirmed in this case the provisions. Tax revenues you cannot compare because before they are. So you can think about a good idea for the future. More taxes, more revenues for the government, so more services. And also you can compare the GDP per capita and the deliveries that meet the demand. And also about immigration and immigration. But you cannot finish the project if you don't understand the cost benefits analysis. So you can study in economical way, in economical form, what is the present value, your money now is a value, but after 10 years is not the same value. So what happens in the future? You study the payback period. In this case, guessing that just 3% of population could purchase the farmer, 3% in 6 million, not more. Little practically. And understanding that in 11 years you can have your payback period. So your investment reaches zero in 11 years. Then you have just the revenue, not for investment, but by the space, but also to maybe to make other investments or to improve the logistics services and so on. And also that you to ask the final question: have you achieved your goal or not? If yes, you can answer: achieve economic benefits, you achieve the social impact, and also other impacts about, for example, Agenda 2030 of the United Nations. This is my presentation of case study. Of course, the best is yet to come because this is a little study. You can organize for 1 year the same study, implementing every day, and then to have a big idea. But this is a study for students. If there should be for the company, because it should be different, of course. If you have a question, I have finished this first presentation. If you have a question, I am available for you. Or for online people. There are online people. So I can continue. I have just 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
So I can continue and I'll show you just another. Is briefly, very briefly, what is the strategic engineering master degree? These are some of our like you. First floor is we show your partners. We have some partners in Italy, and the strategic idea starts from not just from Socrates, but about the up to know that maybe Sun Tzu 2000 years ago thought about the world, but also Socrates thought about the future, what happens, the philosophy, or what happens or is likely to happen. And so this, I don't know, this form, c'è solo qualcosa da identificare. So Strategos is a very, very interesting master because we use the modeling, simulation, big data analysis, AI, but also other disciplines like economics, international affairs, and so on. So you can study in a multidisciplinary way and prepare the young people just 2 years for the future in a different, with a different vision. Not solo tecnica, ma anche strategica. And also some ideas of meaning the strategic strategos smart computation. Normally it starts from the world of problems to solve the world problems, because to know the data for a general is very important to win the battle, and also to the war totally. But you can translate the same idea in a pacific way, hoping so. And so on, we can understand that the solution are for many things, government, many people, government, the friends, but also industry, international agency, public authorities. The mission is about the use of new technologies, supporting main decision makers. And also offering to students new skills and competencies, new features. And also, I don't know, la forma, la.
Don't worry.
This is the opportunity in Italy, Europe, the placement for young people. And these are the subjects they study in 2 years. Remembering that half years of the 2 years is about internship in the industry or in the industry, the university, in another country, maybe. So this, but it's interesting because you can see that are multidisciplinary parts, not just for engineering. And then we have many partnership with the industry, laboratory, private library, public laboratory, like, for example, I would like to start with you, maybe to understand the problem about logistics or other things. The challenge for the future. And this, the university is very old in Genoa, but we started this master degree in 2018. So 6 years ago. It's a new course. Why to join? For young people, maybe many things, many link with the economic field, and also with technology. And for the companies, very useful. These tools are very useful. These tools. And also for the partner that gave us, of course, opportunities to study. And also for the students, because the new technologies are very interesting to implement when you work in the company, for example. And modeling simulation for synergy, for complex scenarios is one of the goals. It's possible to understand this showing this video, because this is a young guy in my team university, Roberto, that is a programmer and engineer, but that made is for the portal, for the crane, to use virtually the crane, and this is used, is prepared to train the workers and to understand the problems, the damages, and to prevent, for example, bad occurrences, also to save the workers. So it's very useful to study and to project using virtual, this case virtual reality. This is our part of laboratory in Savona. Is just even just for the video, for the movie, because we are in office. But it's interesting the idea. This is very important, showing briefly other file about logistics. Accettare o cancellare? Accettare. Accettare? Sì. About logistics, we are a spin-off inside the university, but that allows us to study for the company, private company, industry, other things, without concurrencies, so without competition. They need some one study. We use the spin-off. It's a company, a spin-off. And also, the simulation team is a team of talent people, young talent people. We use hybrid incorporation, space modeling, human behavior modeling, innovative solution for defense security, but also for industry, business processes, of course, because also for the defense solution, the companies are private. But in this case, we focus a lot for the ports, for the logistics progress. So what is similar to our future is the spin-off. Strategic engineer, we knew about what is, and also we can see just some experiences about artificial intelligence, but also intelligence agents. These are some of our projects, and this is a project to protect marine strategy infrastructure, for example, cable, other things, and these are us in the laboratory. This is a serious game. We use serious games to understand, to teach, to train the people. The example before, the previous example was this. And also logistic, we use normally the definition by NATO, but it's not necessary use this definition, but are useful for us about these short ideas. And safety in the logistics, in the part, the example, the previous example, scenarios, we invited the scenarios, abbiamo inventato lo scenario, l'ambiente dello scenario dove lavorare virtualmente. And also we use the scenario to train, to moving the goods and to train the workers. Also using phones, tablet, laptop, computer, and knowing the criticalities to implement the workers and the project, the solutions and the work. This is another case, analyzing data on accidents, building up the report world, and training audience. Education and training are one of our goals. And also to understand the different boundary conditions to change maybe something during your modeling and simulation. Experimentation. So we create architecture, models, AI, design, and vehicle law. This is something we use also the digital twin, la trasformazione digitale is very important for the companies. using, in this case, for example, a simulator, stochastic shift event simulator, but to evaluate the performance in operation, or in this case, the security, the safety, the explosion, the critical point, and the card is the surface, the volume of our environment. Close, yes, digital transformation from physical to digital properties. Showing simulator features and flows interface. This is l'area della Liguria, where there is a port in Genoa. Genoa is a very big port. And normally, my parents, they came here 2 centuries ago, start from Genoa, 2 centuries ago. So it's very big port. Interface, this is for logistic improvement. Sorry, and this about yes, some digitalization for the storage parts. And then this is about re-engineering the process, or about the solution inside the warehouse. Do you use these models?
No, we don't know them. Perfect. I do outward. What's my process?
Yes, perhaps it depends on your needs. This is the evolution on the history. This is the evolution starting 2 centuries ago to today. Cyber physical system, internet things, industry 4.0. So this could be interesting. Advanced simulation, internet things, blockchain, cloud, system integration, human factors. Human factors is another very important topic that you can use in virtual representation, but also, like you saw before, in the AI course study, using human behavior modeling. And this il ciclo del valore delle informazioni attraverso through the industrial IoT. And this could be a method: collect, transmit, data fusion, process, deploy. About physical and cyber system, we have many problems about cyber system in Europe, and also this is the same. Some definitions, and also about artificial intelligence in supply chain management, another very important topic for the companies in the port, but also in the industry, the production. And then we have many case studies that we can see, but just to know what we study. This is about floating production storage and offloading unit near the port. Sorry, because it's in Italy. Monte Carlo simulation is an opportunity that you use in this case. E qui sono le varie fasi, la creazione database, questo qui possiamo saltarlo. This is about enterprise resource management. Just to understand what we studied and what you are implementing for the companies. This would be a process of simulation about for inventory management. This is a case study. Another case study. Another case study. Another case study. Another, all case studies. Long. This, for example, is about engine of turbine. It was about my previous question with the students, remember, but about noise, vibration, maybe. Using Monte Carlo simulation. This is another project. Optimization of inventory. Scheduling. Another project for the train intermodality. From ship to train or by truck. This case, interport. About the security on the seaport. About the supply chain attack. Yes, but this is a case. Or accident. What happens when, or what if, about protection integrated decision to support the system, is about fashion. All the projects that we made on the way, on the years, for the Italian or foreign companies. This is an Italian company. Food. Decide the food. Decide. This is the logistic coverage. Questo è sempre per la food. Flexibility. Questi sono tutti i food, all food. The same. The same fruit and vegetable. And meat. This is a fish and meat. This is fish. This is a virtualization of the shop to understand about the consumers, about things. But you can also use a software that you find online. This is specific, but you know, Smith Law, for example. This we have, I don't know, there is internet here. Yes. Let me see. Yes. These are many our projects. Just about logistics. A professor Agostino Buzzone is our mentor, is our genius. Every university is a genius, something genius. It's very, very interesting professor because he started from Navy experience in Italian Navy for first part of academy in the Navy Army, but and then stopped his career and started an industrial career as a manager, and then stopped and started a professor university career. In these last 20 years, starting the mechanical department, now exploring through the relationship with the USA MIT University in Boston, exploring many things about use in an intelligent way the new technologies and importing this idea in Genoa, starting for this course, this master degree, and the PhD project. That's all for me. I will thank the Dean, Professor Sotelo, all the Dean staff, the professor staff, because we are very interesting and I think interested to these subjects, but also the students, because they are our future. I hope that a part of our teaching should be useful for them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Grazie mille.
Question?
In all those projects that you presented, they were like a big variety of different contexts, supply chain, the food industry, or social problems. I understand that you use different tools, software tools, depending on the context. So I wanted to know if you have any recommendations of free or maybe paying for a license of specific tools that we as engineers would use for doing those simulations.
But for my case study, we can use, I don't know if it's free or payment, any logic. From Croato. Croato is Croatia, from Croatia. It's a useful tool for the 3 dimension that I show you before, dynamic system, event discrete, edge-based modeling. It's not easy, but you can understand studying the paper, the manual. All the other making the codes. The codes using Python. We have not the software normally. We make the codes because the software is made from other, maybe for some interesting, very interesting, also very difficult goal. But we prefer, we are a research center. So we study new ideas using the same technologies, but not only using the software. Somebody, there is another NetLogo, another software interesting for AI, for intelligence agents. Sorry. Maybe other I can write to Eduardo. Adesso non remember now, but I can send to Eduardo some just for the students to teach this. But normally after, not during a student's course, but after when you research, use the code, because with the code you can implement every time you're running, having a new idea, you can change in diciamo in tempo reale the most aspect, yes, normally, but starting from the basic code, of course. You need maybe the professors, not just the students. For in my case, I am not programmer, so for example, I organize the causal loop because I have more vision than young people, but the young people is has a very skill and interesting skill to program. So we can exchange. We are a team. I suggest you to study with a team, because every people has some idea that the other doesn't have. And also starting from the software, basic software online free. Any logic maybe for the student is free, but it's not easy. Logo is easier, and also other we send some yes, because to teaching are perfect. This software. To research is not, because it's not enough. It's my pleasure. Was your work. Altre domande, altre questioni? Soddisfatti o rimborsati? Non ne ho tanti, di solito qualche moneta.
Okay, thank you.
Grazie, grazie a voi.